We all have head trash. We all have shit in our minds that is coming with us. It's who we are. It comes from our childhood. It comes from previous careers. It comes from interpersonal relationships. It comes from our own deepest fears. But whatever drives you, it's going to be a factor. Like, especially when we're put in higher volatility situations, we're going to go to those things that make us worry more sometimes if you're not really good at controlling that and being mindful. I am still working on getting better at that. And so I still have that head trash comes up in my mind, and I don't have time for that shit. Like, I need to get it out of my mind when I'm trading, and I need to be focused on the chart. Just a quick pause before we get into this. Trading can be intense, and staying mindful during your session matters so much. That's why I created and am sharing a free 3-part audio experience that's helped me deeply. 1, for starting your day with calm intention. 1, to stay centered while you trade. And 1, to wind down with grace when it's time to stop. These tracks are yours. Just click the link in the description.
Hey, welcome back. Here at the Market Mamas podcast, I cover a wide range of topics from the intricacies of day trading to mindset mastery and psychological growth, with the goal of the conversations being next level growth for all of us. My name is Becky, and I'm a US-based futures day trader from the Pacific Northwest. My trading experience includes trading stocks, options, crypto, and futures, with both trading a personal account as well as with prop funding companies. Over time, I found that I most enjoy the fast-paced world of intraday futures trading, so that is my primary day trading focus now. Thank you for joining me on the Market Mamas podcast today.
Hey traders, Becky from Market Mamas. So I wanted to take a moment and create an episode that gives you guys a resource that I have been using for years and has been like really influential in how I trade and my outcomes. And I've kind of refined it over time. And so I feel like something that you start and you're like, this is a little weird. I'm not sure if it's going to help me or not, but let me play with it. And then you find that it is really helpful. Like, this is something that I share with everyone that I trade with, all of the people in my community, my mentor and good friends. I create them and I share them. And I'm like, this is something that is really valuable for me. Maybe you'll like it. And the feedback has been pretty good. So I thought twofold. So that's kind of like how Market Mamas came about. Was my previous partner, Kendra, and we shared tons of tracks back and forth of what we kind of wanted to work through on our own and what is helping us be better traders. We would share it with each other, what we would say, our mantras, how we would approach trading. And it was really helpful. And so we've created episodes throughout the last year and a half of Market Mamas to that effect of like, these are the things that were really helpful for us as traders. Maybe they'll help you. And so I was looking back, and I first created an audio track on my phone just with the voice memo app on an iPhone in March of 2023. So over 2 years ago now. And it was about my affirmations on the kind of trader that I wanted to be, because I think that we've all heard affirmations, like you should say them and then you'll become them. Well, I don't think it's as easy as that or quite as powerful as that, especially standalone. But I do think it has been really helpful for me to change my self-talk around everything with trading. And so I think self-talk and affirmations are like a soft science, right? Everyone does them differently. People need to hear different things. Some people think it's all bullshit and you just need to do the work and show up and manage your technicals and focus and do your work. And I think that both can be true. Hear me out. Okay. So in trading, you have to be good at technical analysis. You need to understand fundamentals behind what can move the market. You need to understand geopolitical climate and different news things that are going to happen that could cause extra volatility. You need to have skills at technical analysis and understand at a minimum like supply and demand and who is in charge and what a trend looks like and what a consolidation looks like. These are basic requirements to be even half functional as a trader. But then once you start learning these things, you realize that there's so much more work that you have to do on yourself. I realized that. And a couple of years ago, it was spring of 2023 that I realized that I was the biggest problem in my trading, that I could understand a lot about how the market moves, but I was still screwing it up regularly enough that I wasn't profitable. And so when I really started to delve into myself and who I was as a person and how I needed to change to be able to execute most effectively, that's when I started getting tangible outcomes. Like a couple months after I really started getting to that work was my first payout in summer of 2023. And then I started getting better and better, right? And so a powerful tool for me was to create voice memos actually on my phone of who I want to be, how I want to be, things I want to remember during my trading session that I sometimes would forget. So I don't know if this happens to you guys, but the market opens and the volatility starts printing, the opening bell goes off, ding, 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 and it just starts to move. And it's like, for me, especially early on, I would be ready, like my heart rate would jump a few beats and I would want to start getting in. And I do trade market open pretty much every day. And so, that volatility is what gives us points, right? Like volatility is how traders thrive. That's how we are able to extract money from the market, minimize our exposure by getting in and out with certain moves, where they might pivot off of. And so I want to be in that high volatility moment. I want to be able to be at my computer and watch it and observe, but also to be patient through it. And so for me to be able to manage that fight or flight response was so important for success. And so what I did to kind of get better at that over the years, and what I still do right now, is I will focus on getting my mind and my body centered and peaceful and quiet before that opening bell goes off. And so during that time, I want to breathe, slow down, focus on my gratitude, focus on my process, review what my trading process is, what I look for, what pre-market is setting up. I create my hypothesis. I think about the supply and resistance, where I think the market might go to and move off of. And so that period for me is supposed to be ideally calm, quiet, focused, peaceful. I have a pre-market audio recording that I wrote and have fine-tuned. This is probably version 3, I think, for that specific time frame. And it helps guide me to breathing and slowing down and remind myself of what my goal is. And it's not to take money. It's not to be green. My goal is to trade well and to be a smart professional business person at my trading computer. And so I listen to that track before market opens. Now, when market opens and I have my hypothesis written out and I'm sitting there, I'm calm, I'm waiting. Sometimes I push myself back from my desk in order to be calm. So the market starts printing candles. And I have backed off from entering the market right away, because generally there's just so much. I say, get your wiggles out. This is the mom in me coming out, but the market needs to get her wiggles out and have that whipping around that she'll do at market open. And then there generally comes a better opportunity when she pushes to a certain level. And then at that level, you can see what the market is going to do. And so for me, I want to make sure that I am continuing that calm, present focus through those wiggly periods at market open for New York session that I trade, and then be really intentional with what I'm wanting to see and what my trade setup would look like when all the confluences line up and give me my best opportunity. So for that period, I have a separate audio track that actually the first version of this was from May of 2023. So this is also 2 years later and multiple modifications later. And so this audio track that I plop in my ear with my AirPods just basically says, chill, slow down, take some deep breaths. You know what a good trade looks like. You know what you want to see at these levels. And so just wait. Market is abundant and it shows you what you need to see. And so, right, these are things that I know. 4 years deep as a trader, this is not rocket science. Nothing that I tell myself during my trading sessions is earth-shattering. It's all part of who I am as a trader, but it's harder. Straight up, it's harder when the candles are printing and your adrenaline is a little bit higher and you want to start locking in your trade so that you can have a successful outcome for your trading day. The leverage, the energy just gets a little bit more intense, right? And so during that period, if I have my audio track in my ear and it is literally like my calming voice being like, just breathe, just chill. You know what you're waiting to see, wait until you see it and then go for it. You're a badass trader. You got this. So that audio recording really is helpful for me for keeping it chill and helping me remember continuously what my system is and how that looks like moving forward through my trading day. And so then generally, ideally, right, my best day is letting my setup happen, play out, get to my levels that I'm watching for. I'm monitoring my hypothesis in confluence with what the data is presenting. And then when my opportunity comes, I will take the trade. I struggle less with fear and more with revenge trading as a person. Those are my psychological issues. And so I get in the market. I generally jump sometimes before it's ready. So for me, I need to slow down and I get in my trade. And then this is where I want to manage it carefully. I don't want to squeeze a good trade. I don't want to tighten my stop before it's really shown me that it's moving. I want to be patient and have faith in my trade. And so this audio track is actually longer purposefully because I want to remain that calm once I'm in a position. Because, when money's on the line, your accounts are on the line, I feel like I want it to go. I want to go to my target. I want it to show me that this trade is working out. I want to know the outcome. I want to have the points locked in, but you can't rush it. You just can't. Like, the market is going to do it at her own pace based on what she wants to do and what players are in the market and what kind of a day we're having. Sometimes it's fast and sometimes it's, a couple of hours can go by before the ultimate target is reached. And that needs to be okay. So I need to be able to be patient and let it happen and know when the market is showing me signs that it's not happening and I need to get out versus when it is playing out and I need to just settle and hold and let it play and let it bounce a little bit. The market doesn't move in a straight line, right? We've all heard that was true. And so being patient and letting the trade play out and get to my ultimate targets is such a better day than like taking a tiny bite or taking, getting one contract out and then squeezing the other one and having it be stopped out only to continue in my direction. And so this is a period in trading where you really have to manage your self-talk and be like, I don't need to secure this right now. I need to let the market do what she needs to do and let this trade play out how my data and my experience and my back testing has shown me that it could happen. And so I think managing our self-talk during our trading session, and especially when we have the trade on, is really critical to following your system, right? Because you can go out the window when you're trading. Like, your whole process you can start to forget little steps. You can forget to look at your larger time frame. You can forget, like, I execute on a 5-minute chart, but I can easily forget to look at my 15, my 30, my hourly candles when they are closing and take that data into my system. Is this showing me continuation or is this showing me hesitation? Is this showing me a potential pivot point? And I need to be mindful of that one way or the other. And I don't want to not do those things, especially if my trade is early or I'm still working on getting into the trade. So I would caution you guys to really do something also to make sure that you're controlling the narrative in your own mind, right? I was on with trader Eddie Z, he from Easy Trading Computers. Eddie was on the podcast earlier this spring, and I love the term that he uses, head trash. I'm going to say that we all have head trash. We all have shit in our minds that is coming with us. It's who we are. It comes from our childhood. It comes from previous careers. It comes from interpersonal relationships. It comes from our own deepest fears. But whatever drives you, it's going to be a factor. Like, especially when we're put in higher volatility situations, we're going to go to those things that make us worry more sometimes if you're not really good at controlling that and being mindful. I am still working on getting better at that. And so I still have that head trash comes up in my mind and I don't have time for that shit. Like, I need to get it out of my mind when I'm trading and I need to be focused on the chart, because no matter what I'm worried about, whatever I have later in the day, whatever some conversation from a couple of days ago wants to still be in my mind, whatever on other times of the day, if I need to go there and sort this thing out. But while I'm trading, it needs to be about my process. Like, that has to be first and foremost, or my trading is sloppy. It's not ideal. I will get frustrated. And then that can lead to a serious risk of revenge trading, FOMO, chasing, whatever, if I allow frustration to run my trading system. And so for me, these audio tracks, the first one for being pre-market calm, the second one being intra-trading mindfulness, they are so freaking powerful for me to hear that and put my focus there instead of whatever kind of bullshit wants to take the center stage. Like, shut that out and have in my mind, in my ear, purposefully kind of force it until I'm better at this without that aid. Force it to be what I am hearing while I am trading, because I know that that's who I want to be as a trader. I know that that's how I want to behave, what I want to listen to, what I want to focus on, because, we all make a good trading plan when we're not trading. That's why when we set our risk parameters, when we set our max daily loss, we set those parameters up for us based on our experience as traders and what we want to execute. And in the moment, the risk is not following that because we get carried away with the market. And so this is that for just in terms of following your process. It is owning the narrative that plays in your mind so that you can wire your brain in order to always keep the focus there. And there will be a time when you don't need that to be forced in your ear, because you just will have that narrative locked down for yourself. You can manage your own head talk without that external stimulation. However, it really is a benefit to not have to think about that, to not have to constantly make sure you're thinking on the right things, but instead to just purposefully listen to the words that say, my process is, I need to be watching this time frame and I need to monitor this, and I don't want to squeeze this trade because it looks good, right? So, think about it. Think about what you do during your trading session to manage that. And then after my trading is done, which plays out in any number of ways, right? Either I had a one and done great trade, I made excellent points, it's trade copied on all my accounts, I feel really good about it. the end, right? For me, that is the end of my trading day. I feel successful. I feel satisfied. And I feel like I want to go and do other things with my life, whether it's with my family, it's with podcast creation, it's just my home, friends. I want to like move along and do other things with this full, beautiful life. But then also, what if my first trade is stopped out? I take a second trade. I use my inter-trading mindfulness to, breathe, settle, let the first stop out, process, see what the data is telling me, make sure that I'm still being calm and open to all the data. And then if I see another opportunity, I take another trade. And then we'll see how it goes. Like I don't like to take more than 3 trades in a day because if there are 3 losses, like clearly I am not dancing well with Miss Market and I need to just be done. And often, to be honest, 3 trade losses is my max daily loss in P&L as well as number of trades. And so that's the end of that day. So however many trades I end up taking, whether it's green or red, a period will come where my mental capital is just not ideal anymore. Whether it's green or red, I've shot my shot, right? You shoot your shot at your best trading opportunity and then maybe even a number 2 trading opportunity. But it takes a lot of energy to really focus on your system, focus on all your data points, wait for the confluences, get in, manage it without over managing it, let it play out, manage the exits, think about what the data is telling you. After you do that once, twice, or 3 times, that's a lot of effort. It's not the same as like physical exertion, but it's mental exertion for sure. And it's a lot of exertion on your nervous system. And so I have found that I need to back away and call it a morning with my trading. And so I coined the term closing time. I don't know what kind of music y'all listen to, but Semisonic and Green Day have both recorded the song Closing Time. I believe it's Semisonic did it first. It's so good. It's one of my favorite songs in general. But this last track that I listened to for my personal listening, I have it recorded to the background of Closing Time as the background song. And it's so good. It basically just reminds you, like, you can't do this all day long. Like either you did great or you did mediocre or you just need to stop. So shut it down, walk away, go do something else with your life that you enjoy, that brings you joy and happiness and peace. And let your life be beautiful no matter how this day ended. And so me being able to remind myself of like, I don't want to trade all day. That's not a part of my effective system. I think it works for some people to be high frequency traders and to be in the market all day. I have not found that generally results in a giant P&L. Usually if I do my best trades in the first hour and a half of market open, that is how I get the most successful, financial outcome for my day. And so for me, having something that I can put in my ear when I know that the triggers have there, either a max loss, a great win, multiple trades, when I know that my system is suggesting that I be done, then I put that track in my ear and it helps me know, this is when I back away. This is when I'm done. Like I've done my job for today as a trader. More opportunities will come later. At the end of market close later tonight, I will review all of my trades. I will journal. I will take the lessons from the day that I was given by Miss Market and I will prepare for the next day. That's my trading system. And having these 3 audio tracks for the 3 separate distinct times in my day has really leveled me up because I'm not yet powerful enough to constantly make sure that my inner voice is always on point. I still waver in terms of always being focused and disciplined and steady when I'm at the charts and when the financial outcome is on the line. And so I wanted to make these audio recordings available for you guys. I wanted them to be something that you guys can use, listen to, think about if it speaks to you, and then either just use them or create your own based on that and tweak it to your own system, your own process, your own trading data that you look for. And then you can have yours in your ear and listen to it while you're trading and see how it changed your outcomes. Because it absolutely changed mine. And I have been pretty successful. I mean, I made pretty good money in 2024 in terms of withdrawing from my prop firms. And I'm already surpassed that in terms of P&L outcome to my bank account, in June of 2025. And so, I can see in my literal outcomes that I have turned and I am not perfect at all, at all, but I know that I am improving and, in multiple different methods of metric that I use as a day trader, as a business of being a day trader. And this has been something that has been key for me. And so with Market Mamas, the goal is to share what helps serve me and to what you might find benefit of. And then you guys give me feedback, like I can dig into more of it. We can see what works for you guys. But I just think that there's kind of some shades sometimes around affirmations and self-talk. And I think that that's because they are not the end all be all. Like they are not what is going to change your whole life as a trader, but they are a tool and they are a resource and they are something that you can use to help manage the head talk that you have going on while you're trading. And that's really important because subconscious decisions oftentimes are not always the best. And if we can just kind of direct our subconscious a little bit more purposefully, it will make a difference in my experience. So that's what I do. This is how I use them. I do have a link in the description below that you just click on, and you can have all three of these audio tracks at their current version that I have created, and just download them, save them to the file on your phone, plop them in your ear with headphones or AirPods or whatever you use, and see if they speak to you. See if you using them at those specific times, if they help keep you calmer and you execute on your system more effectively as I have. Because I think that there's enough room for us all at the top. I think that we all can succeed and support each other along the way because I truly believe that Miss Market and the opportunities for a trader are abundant. And we just have to manage ourselves. We have to figure out what we need discipline wise to execute our system the most effectively, no matter what your system is, supply and demand, volume, whatever. There's a lot of ways to trade effectively, but the core of being an effective trader is managing yourself. So this is a resource. Check it out. Links in the description. And thank you for being here with me at Market Mamas. I always want feedback, whatever you have to say about this. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for being here with me and happy trading, guys. Bye.